Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess named Snow White. She had skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. Her stepmother, the queen, was jealous of Snow White's beauty and wanted to be the fairest in the land. Every day, the queen would ask her magic mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror always answered, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." One day, however, the mirror replied, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Enraged with jealousy, the queen ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. But the huntsman couldn't bring himself to harm the innocent girl. Instead, he told Snow White to run away and never return. Snow White fled deep into the forest, frightened and alone. As night fell, she discovered a tiny cottage. Inside, she found 7 little beds and 7 small chairs. Exhausted, she lay down and fell asleep. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs who mined for jewels in the mountains. When they returned home and found Snow White asleep, they were surprised but quickly grew fond of her. The dwarfs welcomed Snow White into their home and asked her to stay with them. Grateful, Snow White agreed and began to take care of the house while the dwarfs were away. Meanwhile, the queen learned from her mirror that Snow White was still alive. Furious, she disguised herself as an old peddler woman and went to the dwarf's cottage with a poisoned apple. She offered the apple to Snow White, who, unaware of the danger, took a bite. As soon as she did, she fell to the ground, seemingly dead. When the dwarfs returned home, they found Snow White lying lifeless on the floor. Heartbroken, they placed her in a glass coffin and kept watch over her day and night. Time passed, and one day, a prince who had heard of Snow White's beauty came to see her. Moved by her grace even in death, he kissed her. The kiss broke the spell, and Snow White woke up, alive and well. The dwarfs and the prince rejoiced, and Snow White and the prince soon fell in love. They were married in a grand celebration, and the evil queen, upon hearing of Snow White's return, was so shocked that she fled the kingdom, never to be seen again. Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after, and the 7 dwarfs continued to be her dear friends, visiting the castle often. Snow White never forgot the kindness of the dwarfs and cherished them always.